And let's pull up the board. I'm going to go ahead and tell you one. There's one problem that I'm tired of going over, but we're going to go over it again today probably. And that's graphing on a calculator and all that stuff. So I better pull the calculator up. All right, y'all ready to start? No? Okay, we're going to start anyway.
We got time.
No, we don't. Why do you want to lie? Is that the thing now, to lie? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Math 120. All right, let me get that out of the way. First question. They're not in order. Hold on. Subject. All right, here's the first question. This is 4.119/8. 4.119/8. First of all, is it a test question? There it is. Told you. I didn't even have to look, and I knew it was going to be one of these. All right, so what do? You can do it on Excel. You can do it on your calculator. We'll do it on the calculator. So let me pull up the calculator. Let me turn on the diagnostic, because I have to do that every class. I'm not complaining. Not complaining anymore. Catalog, D. Go down to diagnostic and turn diagnostic on. Okay, now I'm going to plug these numbers in, so I'm going to pull them up. Here's the numbers. And type those in. I'll type them in. Go to Stat, Edit, and type them in. 76679, 76679. Yes.
We can't see the screen anymore.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Here it comes. All right, you should be getting it right about now. Give it a second. Tell me when you get it. Sometimes it takes longer with Skypers.
Got it.
You got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
How about the others? I know Miss Carver, your voice don't work, so can you tell me if you got it, Miss Carver?
No.
I can see, question mark? Okay, she changed it. Okay. Miss Slaughter, can you see it? Yep, okay. All right, so now we go over here and we type in 37695. 37695. Now we type stat, calculate, linear regression, and calculate. It automatically defaults. You don't have to type in anything else unless you just want to. Okay, write that information down. That is the slope, the y-intercept, and your R coefficient or your correlation coefficient. Say again?
I think I'm doing them wrong.
Oh, my Lord. Bring it up here. Let me see it. Anybody else need me to fix something? No, you did it fine. Well, you typed in a wrong number.
Okay.
Go back and check your numbers because it's working. It's just giving me different numbers. That means you've typed in something wrong.
Okay.
Or I typed in something wrong. Did y'all get 0.27? Negative 0.27?
Yes.
Okay, so either I typed in something wrong or you typed in something wrong. Check the numbers. 76679 on the X and 37695.
37695, and then on the X.
76679. Make sure all your numbers are typed in right.
Because I need glasses.
Okay. Let me see it. Seven, 6679. 37695. It looks like you got them all in. Go to math or stat, calculate linear regression, L1, L2. Wait a minute. Stat, calculate linear regression. Yeah, you got L1 as a frequency list. Let's check that out. Now calculate. There we go.
Thank you.
I think it was that extra thing. There we go. All right, so now I want you to graph your scatter plot. So take your handy dandy calculator and hit second, y is equal. Hit enter to go into that number 1. You can go into number 2 if you want to, but usually everybody goes into number 1. And hit enter for the on. So you're turning on the stat plot. You're telling it to plot a scatter plot. It automatically goes there and automatically goes to L1, L2. So all you got to do is hit graph. Now it may not show up. So if it doesn't, you hit zoom. Is it 0 or 9? 9. And there is your scatter plot. Now we're going to draw the line that goes into the scatter plot, and that's called the best fit, or the line of regression. And that's graph y is equal, and somebody give me the, what was it? What's the slope? I heard what?
Negative 0.5.
Negative 0.5 even? Wasn't any other decimals? And what was the y-intercept, plus or minus?
Plus.
Plus what?
9.5.
9.5 even? And there it is. Now all you got to do now is just match up. So I got 2 on the left, 2 wide, and 1 on the, so 2 on the left, 2 wide. Looks like these two. Oops. What happened? Damn Russians. There we go. So it looks like C or D, because you got your 2 together, 2 wide, and 1, but that 1's too high. So it's this one. And there, go back to your stat, edit or calculate, and first linear regression, and calculate. And there is your numbers for there. Now, they also want you to do the critical value. The critical value, if your R is greater than your critical value, then that means there's a strong correlation. So hit the critical value. How many numbers do we have? 5? 5 dots? So your critical value has to be above 0.878 for there to be a strong correlation. Is R's above 0.878? No. R's is a negative 274, which is not greater than 0.878, so there is not a strong linear correlation. So that might be the question you have right there. Yes, ma'am.
Every time I type in the slope, it gives me a straight line.
Let me see it. I don't understand why it would do that. Let me see, you've got something typed in. Oh, you gotta put an X beside it. So put, okay, you're gonna have to get, there it is. Let me get into it. Do insert second, delete, and X, and now graph it. Why isn't it graphing it? Let me do a zoom 9. Y is equal negative 0.5x plus, what is it, plus what?
9.5.
9.5 graph. There it is.
All right, thank you.
All right, everybody good on this one? This is a test question, but I don't ask that last question. I just ask you for the R for R. I think. I'm only limited on what questions I can pull on a test. So, all right, so that's the question. All right, so let's see if it's a repeat. That's 4.1, 19, 27, 27/10. Here we go again. Now, I do not do that last part. I'll show you how to do it, but it's just busy work for y'all. So let's graph these. I'm going to do this one on Excel. I'm going to put it on Excel so you can see the numbers. So here we go. Type those numbers into your, now if you got your laptop, do it on if you want to. Whatever, just do it. There you go. Do it on your calculator or your laptop, either one. Type them in. And they're going to tell you to change it into centimeters or something. I don't know what they're going to tell you to do. I'll show you how to do it. But what they're trying to tell you to do, let me think of okay, let me ask you this, and I may have given you this the other day. If you can make a dozen cookies with an ingredients, a set of ingredients, and you double the ingredients, you make double the cookies. The cookies are going to taste the same, aren't they? Because you're using the same amount of what? Ingredients. If you multiply all these numbers by 10, are you still going to get the same numbers? Yes. You're going to get the same mean. You're going to get the same standard deviation. You're going to get the same linear regression. You're going to get the same plots. So nothing's going to change because you multiply the numbers by 10. So it doesn't matter what you multiply them by. And I'll show you that in just a second. Let's see, what does it say? Let me see what it changes it to. Do y'all remember what it says? Change it to centimeters, right? And this means if you're tall, you're going to have a big head. That's what this means. All right, so I'm going to go down here. I think it's 2.54 centimeters, isn't it? Let's Google it. Because we don't have information at our fingertips. It's better to go on Facebook and ask. I hate people that do that. How many inches are in a centimeter? Why don't you go to Google and look for it? Inches to centimeters. Oh, look at there. I got it right. 2.54. So that means I need to multiply each inch by what? So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to pull up my handy dandy. And I'm going to do this side by side for you. So you'll see that there's really no difference. Equals this number times 2.54 and equals this number. I'll just copy it. There. Somebody got a message. No, that's not right. Equals this number times 2.54. There we go. Is that good? Now I'm going to copy both of those. If I could work this mouse, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What?
You added the first one.
I need to quit. Thank you, whoever said I heard y'all. I thought you were talking about what I was doing there. I'm sorry. All right, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah, shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. I think those are right. Looks right. I'll see in a minute, because when I graph this, I'll show y'all a trick I learned in the war. Take this, hit insert, do that, pull this up here, and I'll watch this. Insert. And what do you see? What do you see? It's the same graph. Now, the numbers on the left and right are different, but the configuration of the graph is identical. So just because you multiply the ingredients by 2 doesn't change the taste of the cookie. All right? So you see what I'm saying? That's what they're trying to show you. So I really don't care if you do that last part. If you want to, that's fine, because watch this. When you right-click on this, and you add the trend line, and you do the R and the double, whatever, display, there. Now you do it here, and what is it going to be? It's going to be exactly the same. Add trend line, and look at there. If I could get rid of this, there we go. 1664, 12.866. It's supposed to be the same. Okay. Oh, it's not. The y-intercept is different because the numbers are different. But the slope is what? The slope is the same, and the R factor is the same. Somebody take the square root of 0.6728 for me, please. Write down those numbers so I can fill in the question, please. What's the square root of 0.6? Let me blow it up for you so you can write it down.
Yeah.
0.82.
Okay, write that down for it. But give me 4 digits. 0.82 what?
02.
Okay, write that down, please. And write that down. Write the formula down. Y is equal to 0.1664x plus 12.86. Now I'm going to go over to the question, and we're going to fill in what it says. Okay, let's look up the value. How many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 707. Is ours greater than 707? Yes, it's point what?
8202.
So that means that we have a good correlation. So they're going to ask that, and that's what you say we have a good correlation. Yes, there appears to be a positive linear correlation because R is greater than 0.707. And then they're going to ask you to change it into this, and you change it into that, and there's no effect. The only difference is the y-intercept, because the y-intercept is based on the numbers, and it's going to be different. The slope and the R, the correlation coefficient, is the same. So the only thing you have to do here is you have to, now, what does that mean? That means if you're tall, you're going to have a big head. That's what it means. So let's look. See? The taller you are, bigger head you're going to have. There's a good correlation. Okay. Got that one? It's a good question, but I don't like the test question because you have to do this busy work. And there's no reason for that. Next question. Let's erase that one. See if this is a duplicate. Yep. You okay with that one? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, this is 40/11. 40/11. Same type question. I'll do it right quick. Whoa. This is, okay, I know what this one is. This is the tick and drownings. Okay, so I'm going to do this in spreadsheet right quick. And you don't have to do it. I'm just going to do it right quick because the question that people get confused with is usually the last question. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this, insert, and that, and this, and that. You write that down, and I'll make it big so you can see it. And you did the R factor. There is a correlation. Okay, but that's not what the question's going to ask. They're going to ask, is there a correlation? Yes. What is the slope? What is the R factor? Somebody give me 4 digits of the square root of 0.9206. .9595. That's as close as you can get to 1. I mean, that's close. So you've got a very strong correlation. So does that mean tick bites make you drown? Does that mean that drowning makes you get more tick bites? Now, if you think about that, that's pretty silly. If you drown, that means you're dead. You're not going to get tick bites. Okay? So neither one of those makes any sense. So what is... Think of the stalker behind the bushes. There's something behind the bushes that's causing this. And what is that? Something that's making this happen. And what is that? What's making it happen? Time of year. So what you have, don't call it a stalker, call it a lurking variable. That's what it is. You're going to remember stalker now. You're going to remember it, lurking variable. Okay? Lurking variable means that there's something that's tying these two things together, and that is everybody's out during June, July, and what? August. Okay? And that's what they're going to ask you. Now, that's not a bad question, and the reason it's not a bad question is because they ask you to think at the end of it. Okay, let's go ahead and check how many, oh, I didn't look, how many dots there were. Let me see how many. We got to look up the critical value. So there's 12. I'm sorry, 12 months in a year, dork. Okay, so 12 should be what?
0.576.
We way above 0.576. We're 0.9595. So you got a very strong correlation, and the 707 or the 576 means absolutely nothing to you because it's less, or your 0.959 is greater, so there is a correlation. And they're going to say, is there a lurking variable? Yes. And I don't see the lurking variable question. Why not?
You have to continue.
Oh, gosh. Well, I can't continue. It won't let me.
Did you have it filled in all the answers?
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Because the correlation is positive and the absolute value is 0.9 is greater than, oh, that's not filled in. What was it, 0.576?
Yeah.
Check answer. Okay, what is the 12 is 0.576. Oh, there is a positive. There we go. And that should be right. Now, is there a stalker? Yes. I would say delta. The temperature and time of year are likely the stalkers. Y'all thinking about that guy in the trench coat behind the bushes, aren't you? That's what you're supposed to be thinking of. Yeah, I think his name's Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Come here, little girl. You want a piece of candy? He don't do that anymore because he can't remember. He can't remember what he used to do. So I'm running for Senate. You're not running for Senate, Joe. Y'all know he did that the other day, didn't you? He said, I'm Joe Biden and I'm running for United States Senate. And everybody was looking at him like. And he hugged his sister saying it was his wife. 105, I think. 106. Bernie, I want to give you free college. I want to give you free health care. I want to give you everything. Everything for free. You won't have to go to school. You won't have to improve yourself. You'll just work for the government for the rest of your life. No, David, what's his name? David, oh God, he does him perfect. Yeah, the old man on there. He does him perfect. Let's look him up. He does Saturday SNL Bernie impersonator. See what his name is. His name is, there he is, Larry David. I knew his name was David. Larry David. Oh gosh, he does it perfect. I bet it won't come up, but somebody's going to bitch, but he can't. Just listen. Oh God, no. Oh. No. I hate these commercials. Oh, he's Lizard Man.
Turn it up.
I can't. I don't have volume. I can't stand looking at that. Oh, anything doing with Hillary, I can't stand it. She's evil. All right, 4.213/5. Her husband's funny as hell. Bill is funny, but we've already done this one, haven't we? No, we hadn't done this one. All right, let's do this one. This one says predict. Oh, this one, you don't have to do anything but plug and chug. Here is your formula. Write down the formula. And people get it wrong because they think that's a decimal. That's not a decimal. That's $14,714.
Can't see that.
Okay, well, hold on,
Thank you.
Diva. That's all right. There you go.
Thank you.
That's okay. It's just short. I'm sorry. It's just got to make it bigger. I never did tell you in second grade they put me on the short bus.
Yes, you did.
I did. They made me go see a dolphin, a puppet named Duso. My mama went up there and raised all kind of hell.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm. For 2 weeks during class, I had to go and watch a dolphin, and they made me ride the short bus. Back then, you could do that. Yeah, sure did.
You told us you rode the short bus and your mom.
They said I didn't.
You didn't tell us about the dolphin.
Yeah, you can look him up. He's actually real.
Oh, man.
Y'all think I'm kidding. His name's Duso. D-U-S-O.
You did it with a different class.
Duso, wait a minute, Duso the dolphin. There he is.
Oh, Lord.
I'm dead.
Yeah, I had to go see Duso. Duso stands for doing unto others or something. You have to look up Duso. What Duso? Because evidently I didn't know how to act.
I can see that.
What does Duso stand for? Little song, come out, Duso, come out again. Yeah. I'm about ready to quit. Developing understanding of self and others.
Yeah, you definitely needed that.
What did you do?
Well, it might have had something to do with catching jack-o'-lantern on fire.
Oh, no.
I think that had something to do with it. And it just had installed back then. You had these sprinkler systems that were just installed. So the sprinkler systems went off, and I got in trouble.
Well, you just said that little.
It was a big one, too. It was in the classroom. And back then, you could put candles in there. And I put paper in there while the teacher was out. And it...
I bet you went to go see real fast.
I got a whipping. No, I got a whooping. There's a difference between a whipping and a whooping. I got a whooping. I wasn't able to sit down for a week when I got home. Anyway, so this is our equation, and let me pull up the whiteboard and plug and chug. This may be a question on the test too. So, y is equal to 706.0 blank plus 14,714, and you plug in 30. Somebody crank that out, and that'll be that first answer. So 706 times 30 plus 14,714. Well, 30 times, that'd be a pretty good chunk of money.
35,894.
Look at there. And then they ask you to plug in 27.9 and check it with that and tell them if it's higher or lower. So somebody plug in 27.9 and tell me if it's higher or lower than 31,140. I only heard mumble. I didn't hear an answer. What? Is, when you plug in 27.9, is it higher or lower than 31,140?
It's higher.
Okay. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to put, this is lower than expected. Okay, they put, because your outcome is 34,411 and this is lower. So that's why you put lower right there. Now, what is the slope of this regression line? $706, Hubert. That's right, class. And it's positive. That means it runs left to right, what? Up. So if the slope is positive, what is the correlation? Positive. And that's probably what they're going to ask you here. Okay? And what does that mean? That means for every unit you go to the right, your vertical goes up how much? 706. So for every unit you go right, it's going to go up $706. So that's, which one is that? That's C. Well, there it is. For every percent increase in X, the median income increases by 706. That is the definition of rate of change or slope. Rate of change and slope is the same thing. Why does it not, explain why it does not make sense to interpret the y-intercept. The y-intercept is going to be where y, the x is equal to 0. X is equal to 0. Do you see 0 right here? What do you see? So 0 would be way down here, and that's out of the scope. Remember, out of the scope. Okay? And that should be your answer. D. Out of the scope. So hopefully that's a good question because it actually makes you use a little bit of math. So, and I know that's awful for some of y'all, especially those who can't make change. Next, 4.2. Let's see if that's 13. 4.2, 15/6. Is there a relation between the age difference of husbands and wives percent of a country? That is literate. You know, this is wrong. They shouldn't do stuff like this. In other words, if you is literate, you're going to marry an old man probably. No, I don't know. Okay, here is the formula. Write that down. Y is equal to negative 0.0427x plus 8.3. Now, the model is applied when x is between 20 years old and what? 100. So that means the least squared regression between age difference, husband age minus wife age, y, and the literacy rate, percent of the population, x. That's the percent of the population, 20 to 100% of the population. So your y-intercept is going to be out of the scope. Okay, now it says right here, interpret the slope. So for every unit in the x direction, what happens? It goes down 4/100ths in the what? Y direction. And that's what you put right here. For every unit on the x direction, which is the literacy rate, see x, literacy rate, 20 to 100%. Okay? The age difference, which is y, falls negative by the slope. Does it make sense to interpret the y-intercept? No, because it's out of the what? Out of the scope. Think about it. Will you ever have a 0 literacy rate? We have live PD. In other words, will you ever have a 0 literacy rate? Meaning that everybody in the world is capable of reading a sentence. Will you ever have that?
No.
No, you will not. So it doesn't make sense. That's out of the scope. Predict the age difference where the literacy rate is 43%. Literacy rate 43% is not good. That means that 67% or 57% of the people can't what? Read. So would you say that it's probably going to be up there? So actually, it's not a bad thing because men should not get married till they're 40. That should be an amendment to the Constitution. Because you got the 25 man indicators. You know, I told you that. Wearing sunglasses inside. Having vehicles that don't make sense. That's, yeah. Living with their mother at 28. You know, those are all indicators that this guy's a piece of crap. Okay? But with women, all you got to look for is Oompa Loompa, guys. Oompa Loompa. Orange face and a white neck. They have an orange face and a white neck, run. Run like crazy.
Which rule is that?
Huh?
Which rule is that?
That's the number one rule of women because they are crazy. Okay?
What age did you get married?
I ain't going to say because I was stupid.
told me.
I got married at 24, I think. And I got married about 6 to 8 years too early. Men should not get
How long
married
did y'all stay married?
22 years.
Jesus.
Well, I come from a family that if you got divorced, you're Satan. So, and some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all got this family that if you get divorced, oh my God, you're a leopard. You're what you got, leprosy? You know? Yeah, leopard.
Leprosy?
Leprosy. You got leprosy. You know what leprosy is, don't you?
Have you ever seen
Leopard. You're called a leopard if you have leprosy. Okay, whatever. Leopard. I'm gonna call him a leopard. Okay. All right, we got off subject. Well, we do this. Oh, plug in. What was the literacy rate? What did it say? Plug in.
I think you said the literacy rate was like 41 point something.
Literacy rate.
43.
Yeah, but where did I get it? I don't see it in the question.
It's right there. Go back up.
Go back up.
Yeah. Down. Yep, there you go.
Okay, so somebody plug in 43 into the formula. What do you get? You should get 6.5.
6.5.
Okay, so plug in 43, 6.5. Does it make sense to use this model to predict the age difference between husband and wife in a country where the literacy rate is 14%? No, because this model is only good between what? 20 and 100%. So this one's out of the scope. Okay, so outside the scope. And what does this say? The literacy rate in a country is 99%. What is that? That means that people, 99% of the population can what? Read. So naturally, it's going to fall. Okay? Think about that for a while. If you think about it, you'll understand why. Okay? Because in order to read, you got to go to school, you got to learn other things. If you don't go to school, if you don't read, then you in dang old Lounsville. Okay? Dang old, anybody's been to Lounsville, you know what I'm talking about. Somebody can say, not Lounsville, but Tomasi Salem. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all ever seen Deliverance? Okay, there you go. All right. Some of y'all are like, what's Deliverance? Well, that's your parents' fault. All right, 4.2, 15, 24. I'm going to skip on down to 5.1. I know some of y'all are going to have convulsions, but I still got to 11. All right. In a certain game of chance, this is a test question, so you might want to write it down. In a certain game of chance, a wheel consists of 50 slotted numbers. This is a roulette wheel. 0, 00, 1 to 48. To play the game, a metal ball is spun around the wheel and is allowed to fall into one of the numbered slots. Determine the probability. Determine the sample space. Choose the correct. The sample space is 0, 00, 1 to 48. So it's that one right there. You got to include all those numbers. Everybody with me? Yeah. Determine the probability that the metal ball falls into the marked 8 slot. So you win if it falls where? In the 8 slot. So the 8 slot is 1 out of 40, or 1 out of 50. 1 out of, okay. Let's try that again. So winning is equal to 1 out of 50, because number 8 is only one number. So losing would be 49 over what?
Why is it doing
I don't know. I think this one's messed up. What happens is, I'm the only one that uses these things, and what happens is the battery flips in there and it gets a kind of a short, and you have to take your knife and you have to spring one of the springs out so it won't move. Let's see if this one works. So winning is 1 out of 50. Yeah. And losing is 49 over what? So now you can figure your odds if it asks, but that's the, somebody takes 1 divided by 50, and it should come out to be 0.000200. Okay? If the wheel is spun 100 times, so that means you're going to move 1, 2, sorry. It's hard to do that with a mouse. Let's see if I can do it one more time. 1, 2. There. Then that means, 1,000 times. Sorry. One more. There. So decimal's going to be at 20. So 20 of those will be, you just move the decimal 3 places to the right. And there's the probability that, okay. Determine the probability that the metal ball lands on an odd slot. Well, half of 48 is what? So it'd be 24 over 50. Now, they're supposed to put in there that the 0 and 00 is not even or odd, and really that's not a good question, because you have to say that the 0 and 00 is neither odd or even. So somebody divide 24 by 50. What do you get? 48. And if you throw 100 times, 48 of those times will result in the ball landing on an odd number. Okay, I wasn't able to get through all of them, but watch the 2 videos from yesterday and today, and you should be able to get a good coverage of the questions, okay? You'll have to watch the video from yesterday's 120:10. Let me go ahead and pull the recording off and call the roll so I can